Who on earth are you? Have you ever heard that phrase? Guarantee you have. Who on earth do you think you are? I love that one even more. I used to hear that a lot. Have you ever thought about that though? What's the point? Why do you have to bring up earth? Isn't it just who are you? Because who would you be anywhere else? Right? Doesn't that sentence itself imply that you are someone else somewhere else? Have you ever said to someone, what are you? What even are you? Have you met like those superhuman type characters? Or it's so much so that they're not human, you actually question the humanity in them. And I mean that on both sides of the spectrum. And I know you would have likely thought that about someone in the negative, like someone does things that are just so heartless and hurtful and destructive that you're just like, there's no human in that. But I mean on the flip side, like where is the human in that? It's like out of this world crazy. Like what are you? Where did you come from? You know what I mean? Have you ever said those sorts of things? Have you ever thought about the actual content that I'm talking about? Like thought in depth about what these things mean, why these things are brought up with people, why they're posed. Let's think about it. Let's think about it together. But I can't hear your thoughts, so you're kind of stuck with mine. I know I'm going to make you think, and I want to know how you feel. I want to know what you think. Please share with me your perspective on this. Have you even considered a perspective on this? Because more than anything, I'm interested in how this stuff makes you feel, what this stuff makes you feel. Because your thoughts are kind of fleeting, really. Not that emotions aren't fleeting, but they carry a lot more weight. Really, they do. What about the one, who on earth are you? And the other question I'd like to consider for you is, why are you on earth? Why are you, the you that you know, on this earth? I mean that in two different ways. Like the obvious, like, why are you here on earth? What is your purpose here? Why do you think you're here? What do you think is your purpose on earth? Why are you here? But like, why are you this you on earth right now? How did you get to be this person? Why are you you? I might not know the unique combinations of bugs and threads that are woven within you, but at the end of the day, we are all connected in the web of life. The things that are woven and the things that are tangled within your webs will also be woven and sometimes tangled in the webs of those that come after you. Just like some of the stuff that's woven and tangled in your web didn't start with you. I want you to be able to make simple sense of your complicated self and this complex life that we live. And the answer is the web of your life. I've actually seen some pretty crazy shit from people when I show them this thing. I didn't realize when I created it that it would have the force and power of its own that it does. I thought as a teacher, because that's what I've been for so long, I used to call myself with the kids like, I hate having to mama bird everything for you. I want you to think for yourself. And the way I explained it, it's like, I have to go get the food, I have to chew the food, I have to swallow the food, partially digest the food, and then regurgitate it into your mouth directly with precision for you to be able to get it and absorb it and take all the nutrients from it. This is knowledge. And you have your own brain. You know things, you understand things, you see things, you feel things, you hear things, you've learned things. I want you to think for yourself with whatever I present you. I want you to be critical. think twice, question things. And if there's something that I want you to question, it's this self that you think you are. I want you to understand it in an objective way. So you're looking at the facts, because we tend to be so subjective, which is all thought and opinion. Facts become kind of arbitrary when you're being subjective. I was surprised when I started introducing the web of life to people, and I did this all around the world whenever the need for it come up. I've done this when I was incarcerated. And when I say that, I don't mean in actual jail. I mean incarcerated against my will in mental health. Like, I was sectioned, and I found people in there that needed to know this, to understand this, to make sense of themselves and this life that they're living, because nobody around them got it. And it made them question themselves, so much so that they lost themselves almost, or they go the other way and they're so sure of themselves that they don't understand why other people are questioning. And I needed them to get the simple fact that you're looking from the perspective of your own web, and they are looking from the perspective of theirs. And this is why when it comes to judgment, I know it's almost instinctual to judge another person. And when you do that, the problem is you're not judging them as them. You're judging them as you. You're looking from the perspective of your own web. And you're thinking, with the life that I've lived, with everything that is woven and tangled in my web, if I had this experience that they had, I would make a different choice. I would make a better choice. I wouldn't have been there. And you also think that if you had have been them, you wouldn't be where they are right now. You wouldn't be doing what they're doing, saying what they're saying, all of that. And I know for a fact that that's not true. Because if you were to actually have lived their life and been them and had their web be yours, there is no guarantee you would even still be alive. And who's to say you would be better off and not worse off? You cannot understand. And the saying, walk in another person's shoes, the idea you try and take the perspective of them, but it's really difficult to do without having woven the same web and been tangled within the same web as them. You can't know. So why does it seem like it's okay for you to judge? But then again, it's only once you see the web and you understand your web of life that you realize that nobody else could be you. Even if they had the same set of circumstances, their parents were not your parents. Their siblings, their friends, their school, their teachers, their institution, the country, like there's too many variables that change the essence of their web. It can never be yours. And just like we all have a unique fingerprint that is not replicated on anyone, anywhere for as long as time exists and will ever, you also have a web of life that is so uniquely yours. It is never replicated by anyone. So how can you ever judge another person, and how can anyone ever judge you? I can't tell you what it's like to see something you created without you having to mama bird it. And I've gone about it a few different ways in my life. I was really surprised that for so many people, all I've got to do is like go get the food, chew on it, and then just open my mouth. You see it for yourself and you're like, oh my God, I get it. I get me. I get my life. Everything makes sense. I thought I would have to be like mama birding the world to get them to get the web, to get them as themselves, to get them to a point where they can actually see how their life was woven and made them. I thought I would have to, and that was the teacher in me. I've done this two ways. If someone is in that place where they've got to share all these things about their life, and that happened quite a lot, more than the opposite version of me introducing this to people. But people would tell me these deeply painful experiences, life-changing, life-shattering. And all of a sudden, I understood the kind of cycle that they were stuck in as a result. why they think what they think. I would start telling people they think this, they feel this, like this. You must think this about everyone. You must feel like this, like most of your life. Yep. And it's like, so are you column A, column B, secret option C, or D, all of the above? Because there's only certain ways a cycle can be physically expressed once your emotional and mental components have combined. And then I'm always curious to know the core belief that the emotional and mental components have created, because they are a force of its own. But after someone's told me enough of their bugs, the things that have bugged them, because those are the bugs in their web, I'm like, I need to get a pen and paper. Give me a sec. And this is also how I learned that this was actually something that needed to be shared with the world, and that people saw value just in this drawing of mine with some words and stuff. And I'd be like, so you remember how you told me this? All right, well, this is this bug. And I'd put it in this element. And then this is how you wove around it with your cycle. And your cycle, it sounds like this, it looks like this, it feels like this, and you do these things. How many times do you think you spiraled around that bug? And then I'd just scribbling over this bug thing that I drew. And then I'm like, so that's that strand, which is tied to this other element. That's this strand. So you must struggle with this and this. But you also shared, and then I'd jump around and show them the web, and I'd show them where their bugs are, and they'd understand how they spiral around them. And it's like, if I showed this to anyone else, it wouldn't make sense. But to them, it is literally like a blueprint of what their life has been, and the formula for their whole being right now. It's made them. And it's literally scribble on paper. And they're like, can I take that? I'm like, yeah, it's your life. You take it. And then those were the more interesting ones for me personally, because that's when I realized this, I don't want to say gift. It's more desire. It was so easy for me to help people make sense of themselves, because I'm sitting there making sense of people as they're telling me these crazy life stories, and I'm joining all the dots and they make complete sense to me. There are some people that didn't. I'm like, how are you not a murderer? Have you not considered murder? You know what I mean? Or like the other side where you're like, I've just had enough. It's like, oh yeah, you get that way more commonly than you get, I have considered murder, yes. I realize that it's something that happens instinctively as people tell me things, and people have been telling me their life stories for as long as I've been alive, really. Since I was quite young, I'd have these deep conversations with people, like my parents' friends and stuff like that. It was really weird in the early days, but now it's just sort of become like a natural, if you're talking to me, it's going to be real, it's going to be deep. Yeah, this is where it's going. We're not doing surface level BS. But the other one, I find it's more like awe-inspiring for them instead of me, if that makes sense. It's not that when I introduce it to people who've told me their life, it doesn't have that same shock and awe factor. But it's different when you're just like, you don't really understand you, do you? And other people don't get it, which makes you think, I don't get myself. Like, why am I so weird? Why am I this way? Why doesn't anyone understand me? I'm like, no one knows what it's like to be misunderstood more than me. But at the same time, knowing what it's like to be misunderstood, when I find someone in that place, I don't wait for them to tell me anything else. I'm like, I'm going to show you something if I've got it digitized. Otherwise, let me get a pen and paper. So I'd start explaining it, not mama birding it, kind of like breadcrumbing, I suppose. Breadcrumbing pieces of a puzzle together. And they've got to figure out the whole piece for themselves. I give them the element, but they understand what it means to them and what that represents to them. And they get a very broad but deeper than surface level understanding of the web of their life. And they wanted to take the paper that had nothing on it other than the 8 elements in the 4 strands. So I was like, why is this piece of paper so valuable to you? And it didn't matter if the person was 56 or 16 or 36. Like, it really, like, the spectrum of it was, I was really like, that was shocking to me. Like, wow, this means something to you. Like, you think this is valuable. And I'm like, maybe I should teach this instead of the curriculum that I'm forced to teach. Because so many people just don't understand why on earth they are here and who on earth they are. People think with the life that they've lived and the good, the bad, the ugly, they think they should be someone else. They should have made better choices. They shouldn't have strayed. They shouldn't have failed at anything. They shouldn't have gone to any kind of substance or leaned on anybody or had a breakdown, whatever the thing is, right? And it's like, because it is exactly those things that make you you. This is not to say that transformation and up-leveling lives and things like that doesn't come from positive experiences, but let's be real. It's in the deep, dark nights of crap that the big stuff happens for people. It's not like I fell off a chair once and my whole life has changed forever. It's like I was in a coma for 6 months and had to teach myself how to breathe and walk and all kinds of stuff. And that was when everything changed. Or they had some major accident, or they actually died for a while, or they had everything and lost everything. They had the whole marriage and house and kids and business and whatever, and then like flash of an eye and they're like, oh, I'm homeless. And it's like, that's where the change happens. The deepest and darkest moments of your life, the ones that you regret, are the specific moments that when you look back in time, you're the most grateful for. Everything serves to teach you more you, to understand the self that you are. And that's what the trials and tribulations and tests and trauma serves to do. That's where you grow. Who on earth are you? If I asked you to answer that, forget everything I just said. If I just straight up asked you, who on earth are you? But you can't be a label of a role you play for someone else. Who are you just as you? No son, no daughter, no mother, no father, no wife, no husband, no partner, no friend. Whatever you are in work, that's not your identity. You can't use those labels. Who on earth are you? Tough one, right? I have the answer. Who on earth are you? You are the sum total of what is woven and tangled within the 8 fundamental elements in your web of life. There's never been anyone like you, and there will never, ever be anyone like you. You are the newest you. All the things that were there to make and break, it's all there because it's your web. It's who you are on earth now. The why, I'm going to leave you with that today. I'm Ali Amo, and this is the Lease on Life podcast. Take it easy, beautiful people. You'll hear from me soon. And if you'd like to learn more, follow the link and join the next masterclass.